So, what is that one principle that you stayed relevant and continuously growing over the years?
Yeah, that's a pretty relevant question after decades of working experience. Learning beyond your immediate role. What I mean to say is you take one task or then you just simply deliver it. But is there anything beyond that you can learn?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. This is Deepika, your host for today. This space is all about real conversations with technology leaders who are contributing to the technology ecosystem, especially in the age of AI. Today, we are joined by someone who truly represents the engineering excellence and human depth. Rajiv Bagalkoti is a seasoned engineering expert with hands on development experience over the decades. For over 15 years, he has been specialized in the enterprise content management, working exclusively with IBM and Highland platforms within the health insurance industry. He builds enterprise grade solutions in highly regulated environments where compliance, security, and reliability truly matter. But what truly differentiates Rajiv is his compassion. He invests in guiding young professionals to focus on health, discipline, and sustainable success. And he leads by example. As a marathon runner and endurance hiker, he has taken on terrains like Mount Whitney and many others. Rajiv, it's truly honor to have you with us today.
Thank you, that introduction, Deepika. I'm humbled to be here with you and share my experience and journey with you and your audience.
And technology has evolved so much in throughout these 2 decades. So, what is that one principle that you stayed relevant and continuously growing over the years?
Yeah, that's a pretty relevant question after decades of working experience. Learning beyond your immediate role. What I mean to say is you take one task or then you just simply deliver it. But is there anything beyond that you can learn? That is one of the that during my career. And other point is adapting. Like imagine I started my career as a desktop developer with then moved to the web technology. So you have to continuously adapt. Adapt to the change is the only mantra I can think of it in IT. And one of the great advice during my early career of one of my mentor he gave me is that Rajiv, if you want to be relevant and you need to be continuously learning and adapting. And that's still true to this time too. Whenever we work on any work or any technology, most of the time we focus on our task. But what happens is we do not have the business outcome of that. So you also need to see that what is the business outcome of what you are delivering or what you are working on that. So that is another thing I learned throughout my career.
That is a very beautiful perspective from you, Rajiv. So, to all the listeners, what I hear from Rajiv is it's not about the experience or the expertise. It's always the learning that comes from each time and from each experience that you need to carry and also adapt to it and then implement it, is what I hear from you. And you have also mentioned so beautifully, Rajiv, that endurance, humbleness is all the key to grow in our career. So, you have mentioned about adapting to it, right? So, especially in today's world, there is so much of AI drift is going on. So, how did you balance with it? How did you adapt to it? And then, how are you integrating such AI tools and everything in your work today? Is there any one piece of advice to those people who are still trying to adapt AI?
As IT professional, it is a really blessings in disguise. The reason I am saying blessing in disguise is I use the AI tool in my professional life day in day out. Still, I am the organization where I work. Still, I am not received. We are working on. They're still working on to get the AI adapted IDE tool, but at least I have the AI tool accessible through the front end through the browser where I can ask the question and get the results. So as a developer lifelong, you now use the AI to definitely write your program. I asked now the way you write program decades ago now, there is a mindset happening. There is a seismic shift happening in the thinking process. So what's happening is in AI, for example, if I want to write a program in decades back, you go to the algorithm, you study it, then you find a relevant code to do that particular job, and you write in with hands on. You write a code. So there is a little bit of research you have to do. You have a little bit of understanding of why that particular algorithm or program relevant to your problem statement, and also you have to implement it, hand code it. Now all those are completely handed to the AI. So what is left is you have a thinking process. So when I start using the AI tool in my development activity, I simply ask the question, and more question you ask, more detail it provides. But as a developer, there is a other part of that AI is that it throws so much information, you get information overload. So the way I use AI tool nowadays is I get the what exactly problem I solve. I ask the AI tool and get that, and then options. And the thinking AI can only tell you, okay, you want to do XYZ, here is a program. But how can you adapt that program to your problem statement? That is the where a lot of people missing that part. Still, it is going to take a while to given a problem statement will immediately get you the solution. Yet, not yet, but thinking broadly, like you have problem statement, you have a solution, how you can implement and fit. So these things, still you need engineers for that. AI is reduce your heavy burden of doing research and finding relevant code to get the resolution or get the solution for you. Now you take that code or whatever output it gives and see by your logical thinking, critical thinking, fit into your day-to-day activities. And a lot of repetitive tasks has reduced by this AI tool.
Thank you, Rajiv. So, what I hear from you is use AI for um, do the speed work to automate repetitive tasks, but it's the human thinking, the critical thinking is always done by us. Time is being reduced with the help of AI, but once it is implemented, it's always us who needs to evaluate and then see how it is working and if it is reliable and then compliant. So I would like to hear more from you. You have been continuously working in the highly regulated environments, in especially in the health insurance industry. So how do you make sure at your work, especially in the development expertise, how do you implement and make sure that your system is reliable and compliant and security policy with the systems?
It's a great question. One of the point of working on this enterprise content management is that there are many products available in the markets, and one of the thing what I found the product where I work is that it has built in the some of the securities and compliances within that. So what just like yes, you whether the enterprise content management solution is it relevant to you and how best you want to manage it and how it's critical for you. So if you look at the product landscape, some of them they are come out of the box, and that will really all you do is you configure to your requirement. And the beauty of that is as long as that particular vendor is going to be available, and you do not have to worry about the possibility of getting the support. And but still you have to understand the product, you build a compliance when you are setting up your product, and various products are available in the market. You have to evaluate and find out to your organization and implement it. Evident that the requirement needs or dictates how it has been deployed and implemented.
That's good to hear. Yeah, like you have mentioned, everyone has to adhere to these governance rules and the compliance, uh, especially in health insurance or healthcare industry. It is so important because it directly impacts the patient care. So that's
Yes.
where the responsibility of our work comes into picture. So even I strongly say that everyone who works in specifically in this industry, it's so important, and everything is so, even a very simple change request that we do in the production, it matters so much. There is any inconsistency in the data or anything that brings a lot of impact. So it's always recommended and must follow and adhere to these compliance and security policies. Thank you so much, Rajiv, for that beautiful insights, technical insights. But my next question is to all the listeners, as you all know, again, that Rajiv is an endurance hiker, marathon runner. So, Rajiv, we really want to hear from you. Beyond technology, you always strongly advocate health and discipline blends with the engineering discipline. So, what internal motivation or where do you get the drive from? So, what is that one piece of advice you want to give to the youngsters who wants to build discipline but at the same time struggling with consistency?
Very relevant question, Deepika. Let me tell you one small story. Okay.
Sure.
Uh, Couple of years back, I'm here in US. Many years I was working, and as a new immigrants, you work long hours of work hours are there, and it puts really toll on your body. When you're young, you don't feel it, but as you age, you feel that. So one of the thing happened is one of my family friend, he encouraged us to join the marathon relay. I never
Okay.
ran 3 or more kilometers. Forget about running a marathon. But they started with a very small spark of relay thing where 5 people, hey, you choose which is comfortable segment in the relay, and just be part of the fun. And since you're doing this group activity, uh, I okay, at least some reason to come together and some practice, correct?
Okay.
And it's a you not only just meeting for the reason of meeting, but you have some common goal all 5 people do, correct? And that's where it sparked me interest in marathon running. And
Wow.
after that first relay in 2011, I started got really interested to get into this endurance sports marathon. So from relay, then went to the half marathon, and I did around 4 or 5 half marathon. I did.
Nice.
Then at some point, I was thinking that why shall I not see how I can push myself? Like what? And I, when first time when I registered for relay, there are same family friend. He was doing full marathon. I said, oh man, I was thinking only to run small segment of marathon. How you are doing full marathon? Like 26.2. Nice. Fast forward 10 years from that day. Guess what? I registered for full marathon. Reason I start liking the outdoor. Like the endurance sports is not about putting body to your test. I am totally disagree on that. All I want is, do you enjoy the journey? It is a journey, Deepika. It's imagine you run on the treadmill, and after 10, 20, 30 minutes, you come down, go back to your daily business. But how about you go outdoor, and during the practice season, you get to see the different season, different weather, and natural beauty around you, get to experience it. But when I started doing the hiking, I start liking the close proximity to the nature. It's in the raw format, you get to see that. And I'm in Michigan, you get to see all 4 distinct season completely. You know that this is the
Oh,
fall, you know this is a spring, you know this is winter. And guess what? Winter is the best time to hike, not the summer.
oh, I didn't know
Okay,
this.
that's what I discovered that. And so many years in Michigan, but I never thought about it. And there are small lakes, they get froze, and you can walk on that, just like walking on the water, but it's just a frozen lake, right? And that's how I start liking these outdoor activity. One thing I want to take away from this is you do a digital sanitization. This is the best way you can do for you. Disconnect from all the digital noise and just be yourself for a moment. You don't need to be for your 10 or whatever the amount of time you find out. Use that for not only for your enjoyment, for your health, but it is disconnect and be on yourself in this nature. Just make sure whatever activity you do, like whether you play tennis or ping pong or any, you should enjoy this physical activity, or an individual or group picture is there. Find that passion and pursue that. You will be happy to discover that passion in your life.
Thank you so much, Rajiv. It's actually truly inspiring. So, one takeaway from this story is we all must pursue our passion. And one more thing I have heard from you is, Rajiv, that very close to nature when you do the hike. Yeah, and I had a very beautiful experience as well. I had been when I did a hike in Washington. It was so good that I didn't know what was there after the hike. Like after some several hours of hike, I didn't know how the destiny would be. Like the destination, the other side of it would be. And when
Correct,
I
correct.
actually travel, it was so difficult. It's not easy, as you know
Yeah.
pretty well. But all that would just vanish when you actually go to the destination and then experience, like you have said, when the photography is when we see, we really feel happy. Wow, this is so beautiful picture. But Rajiv has a very good insight here that when you can experience it, why do you have to experience it in the picture or just go and then do it? I truly loved the way you have said more run and then more fun is what I got from you. Thank you so much, Rajiv, for all your beautiful insights from technology with the engineering and then the engineering discipline, engineering precision, which blends with health and then fitness, is a truly inspiring story. Thank you so much. We really loved your journey and then wish you more success and more hikes you could do in the future. And then share with us more experiences.
Yep.
Thank you.